Beauty is only skin deep. One would think that this quote by Dorothy Parker would describe how we should view one's true sense of beauty. However, when it comes to the land of beauty pageants, they almost do the exact opposite. Most of us have probably watched a TV show where children are in a beauty pageant, or maybe even attended one ourselves and thought it was so cute that they were dressed up like little dolls. Did you ever stop to think that this could be harming them? I feel very qualified to speak about this topic with you today because I have done much research on the topic. The purpose of my speech today is to persuade you not to put any child in a child beauty pageant. As more and more beauty pageants are becoming more popular around the world, we need to stop and think why we should not participate in these, because it can cause mental illnesses in the children, it can teach them bad ethics, and it also encourages them to grow up way too fast. The first shocking point I would like to make with you is that it can cause mental illnesses in our children. Eventually, these pageants do take a toll on a child's self-esteem. Angie Lynch, who is a mother of two and who is the author of an article for Mom.me, states that being labeled from best to worst in a public forum is not how she wants her children to develop a sense of self-esteem. One other thing it can cause is eating disorders. When the child sees somebody that is skinnier than them winning a crown, ultimately it makes them feel a little bad about themselves and drives them to want to lose weight so that they can win. Claire Lindsay, who is the author of an article that's called The Ugly Truth About Beauty Pageants, says that children now as young as 8 years old are saying that they need to go on a diet, which is very shocking. In another study done by Dr. Wunderlich, Dr. Ackard, and Dr. Henderson states that these children that are placed in beauty pageants are more likely to develop eating disorders in adulthood than their peers. Martina Cartwright, who is a professor at the University of Arizona, says that they also develop a princess syndrome. She describes this syndrome as when the hypocritical environment of their youth drives them towards the unattainable goal of physical perfection. These should all be red flags as to why not to put your children in beauty pageants, but the parents still continue to do it, which is very sad. The next reason I'd like to bring up is that it teaches bad ethics. These children learn to base their judgment of people on how they look. They are in a setting where they are judged on how they look, which portrays the need to do the same thing to the other people that they see around them. Sid Brown, who is a child and adolescent psychologist, claims that these children often put more emphasis on physical attraction as they form new relationships with children or other peers among them. It is teaching them that they can get ahead based on their physical appearance as opposed to their personality or their intelligence. One pageant mom said it the best. If you look better, you get a better title. This is showing the children that it is okay to base people on how they look and that that's what's going to ultimately get you ahead in your life. The worst thing that it does teach our children is to sexualize themselves, to look better, to win a crown. The American Psychological Association says that these young girls often treat themselves as objects to be looked at and evaluated for their appearance, which is very sick and is not okay for these children. Would you want this to be your child that was judged on how they look as opposed to if they were smart enough to get something such as a job? Or would you want them to base what they thought about somebody else on their appearance? That is just not right for our children. The final point, which I believe is very crucial, is that it is causing our children to grow up too fast. The most common pageant that these children enter is called a glitz pageant, which just sounds too fancy for a child anyway. Claire Lindsay states that in these pageants, they have the following, but it is not limited. They will often have hair extension, fake eyelashes, caked on makeup, fake teeth, spray tans, and suggestible attire. We shouldn't need all of this stuff to consider our children beautiful. They should just be beautiful for what they look like. We need to keep them young and innocent instead of dressing them up as if they're going to be the next Barbie. The worst thing that they can do is dress them up in these provocative outfits. Claire Lindsay recalls an episode where it depicts a beauty pageant for young girls. She states that in one episode, a 3-year-old was dressed like the prostitute that was played by Julia Roberts in Pretty Women. The outfit was complete with leather knee-high boots, midriff bearing shirt, and a very, very short skirt. This is not uncommon in these pageants. This is just one example of many of how these moms dress their children up, all to win a crown or some money. If the child is more worried about striking a pose for the judges or when to smile than their schoolwork and what they and their friends, then you are taking that child's childhood away from them. The purpose of my speech today was to persuade you not to put a child in any type of beauty pageant. More and more shows are glamorizing this beauty pageant process, so I think we need to look at the facts that it can cause mental illness in these children, that it is teaching our children bad ethics, and that it is encouraging our children to grow up way too fast, so that we can stop people and stop you from entering these children in these child beauty pageants. As I stated before, I feel very qualified to speak about this subject with you because I did a lot of research on it, and I do feel strongly about the topic. I would like my audience to think about next time they turn on the TV or see a child beauty pageant, just think about what it does to that child. As Whitney Houston once said, I believe that the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty that they possess inside. Thank you for listening.